Are you fearful to vote against the PAP?
Perhaps, yes, honestly, a little bit.
Why? Tell me why. What will happen to you? How will we know that you voted against us?
You know.
Listen.
I think we all know the answer. Can we just like...
No, let's pursue this because I'm afraid.
Yeah.
You tell me you've gone through O levels, A levels, university, working in 938 Live, and you're afraid if you vote against the PAP, something will happen to you?
Well, okay. First,
I think this is the impression that the PAP has created.
No, you are spreading that impression.
No, actually, I can tell you this.
You can ask every one of us here.
And to that effect that there isn't a level playing field for the opposition in the terms of...
There is no level playing field of any government helping its opposition to win votes.
I think going back to the point where you said, how will the PAP know that who we voted for? What SM said just yesterday about the area, Realty Park, I think, you know, 60% of, if more than 60% of them vote for the PAP, they will get the upgrading. So how does the PAP know it's 60%? So how can the residents not be fearful that you actually check into...
No, we can guess from our campaigning and our house-to-house visits. But we won't know who comprises that 60%, right?
You don't need to know that to strike fear, though.
Come off it. You mean to tell me you are one of the 40% that voted against the PAP and something happens to you?
Well, I mean, I've never voted for that matter, but I mean, we talk to hundreds of voters, you know, in the course of our work. And it's no comment or, you know, if I vote against the PAP, I may...
Let's get down. What are the hundreds of voters? You name the hundreds of voters, a few of them, tell me.
Well, I mean, I can't name them by name.
No. You tell me who you have spoken to and they say we are afraid to vote against the PAP.
A few weeks ago, the Straits Times did a report. We polled 100 voters.
No.
Mr. Lee.
Never mind the Straits Times poll. You made a statement just now. Look, I started life as a cross-examiner, right? You made a statement just now that I spoke to 100 persons and they were all afraid. I said, name them. Tell me who.
Why should I name them on national television?
You tell me, it's not I spoke to them. Straits Times carried the poll. Did you carry out the poll?
I was one of the reporters.
No. Did you carry out the poll?
Yes, I did.
How did you carry out the poll?
We went out and we asked 100 voters what they thought.
How many voters did you ask?
We had to get more than 100.
How many voters did you ask?
It was about 120.
You yourself personally?
I spoke to about 40.
Yeah, you spoke to 40. And did they tell you, you noted down their answers?
Yes, I do have most of their names, Some of them didn't want to identify themselves.
No. What did they tell you?
Well, they said, you know, we asked them, you know, who do you think will win? We're not asking you what your vote is, but, you know, who do you think will win in this coming election? And some of them say, oh, it's hard to say. Some of them say, oh, you know, I think Lau Tia Kiang still has, you know, enough to hang on. And some just say, no, I better not say, otherwise...
So, when you say some of the 40, I better not say, you assume they're scared to tell you?
Yeah, because they say, you know, it's not something that you can prove in a court of law, but it's something you can sense.
That is the point I'm saying. You're in the media, you're in the Straits Times, you're purveying an unnecessary falsehood. We have said categorically, the vote is secret. This started off with Jayaratnam saying, oh, they're afraid. So we said, right, here are the boxes, count, finish the count, lock up. Go to the Supreme Court, it's locked up, time up, incinerator, you can see, all election agents watch, it's burnt.
But if you can
and you are going out as the Straits Times man. How many said we are afraid? They didn't tell you we were afraid, they just said, no, I don't want to say something. And on that you say, you started off with a statement, over 100 told you they were afraid.
No, I didn't say that.
You said that, it's on. Please, I haven't lost my memory. We can go back on the tape. As I told you, I allow my grandchildren to speak back to me. But from time to time, when they are out of bounds, I put them down. And when you make that statement without any evidence, I have to put it to you, get to the bottom of it. And you interviewed not 100, but 40. And a few of them said, oh, I'd rather not say. And therefore, you assume they were afraid. How are they afraid? Because we terrify them. Isn't it your job to say there's nothing to be afraid? Are you afraid? Surely you're not.
But Mr. Lee, many people out in the streets don't buy the argument behind a large number of GRCs. Neither same logic, same thing, same situation behind the electoral boundaries, the election deposit.
No.
We just think that the PAP is playing with unfair rules and is power crazy. What do you have to say about it?
Let me tell you what I would do if I were the opposition. Right? I would first contest a single seat and win, which is possible. Deng Hao Dong did it. Chen No-chien also did it. Chiang, Low Tia Kiang. I did it in 1955. From that one single seat, I expanded my base. I built up a following in the unions. I built up a following across the country through my speeches in Parliament and the positions I took that proved to be better than the positions taken by the Prime Minister of the time.
Mr. Lee, but
or
how
the Chief Minister. No, just let me finish. Having done that, I will then find 4 or 5 equally capable people. And I will choose a GRC and I say, look, you compare them, compare us. And with the ground in Singapore as it is, wanting an opposition, we know that. All of you want an opposition, right?
Not true.
You're young, you want to vote, you want to see a fight in Parliament. You want to see the heat and dust of a clash in the arena. Well, if they're any good, you will vote for them.
But Mr. Lee, can I just add in, Mr. Lee?
I do not think that we as young people want to see necessarily a fight. I think what we want is to have a choice. What we want is political vibrancy. What we want is a media that could reflect both the views of the opposition as well as the ruling party fairly. What we want is to see that, you know, the opposition is being given a level playing field. What we want is fairness in the political sphere.
Let me pause there. I've told you my training is that of a lawyer, right? What is there to prevent you from giving Low Tia Kiang and Chiam See Tong full coverage?
Self-censorship. A lot of that exists.
No, come on now.
Yeah.
You can see his speeches in Parliament. They're all in Hazzard, word for word. On important occasions, his questions and answers are telecast. He can build on that. But where is the substance? As the Americans say, where is the beef? Little tactical points here and there. Where is the alternative to the policies we are following? I'll give you a simple illustration. Look at their manifesto. I mean, this is ad nauseum. You know? Abolish GRCs. Abolish grassroots organization. Abolish the elected presidency. We spent over 40 years building up institutions which will keep the community together. You go back, ignore this quotas on race in buildings, HDB buildings. You go back to the old days, Malays one constituency, Indians another constituency. I lived through that. I saw riots, I saw unhappiness. And we made a critical decision, starting from 1965 as we rebuilt Singapore, that we will have a totally mixed up population. The population will live with each other, go to the same schools, go to the same shops, go to the same community centers, same playing fields. I think that was the right decision. But once we did that, there is no minority seat available. So the GRC became an important way to bring them in. Now let me say why it is dangerous to go back to the old. We can still go back if we want to. We just remove the race quota. And I think within 3-4 elections, you'll have Malay constituency, Indian constituency, because it's a natural bias, proclivity to have people of the same kind. So if I'm short of curry, I just go next door.
So are you saying that all these rules that exist to create an unlevel playing field is for a good reason, and it does not exist just to keep the opposition weak?
If it does us harm, we would never do it. It does us good, and it will do the opposition good to be able to win and prove themselves.
Mr. Lee,
But you
personally,
can do it with a smaller
No.
GRC.
I've told you, I can, if I were Low Tia Kiang, no, therefore I suggested to Low Tia Kiang and Chiam in a straightforward way. Chiam has been there 20 years. Low Tia Kiang has been there 15 years. He's had all the exposure in Parliament. Take on a GRC, but watch whether he will do it or not.
but you have taken all the people and imposed such unfair rules
No,
that it's...
I have taken all the people, I've taken all the capable people, right, to be our candidates. The problem is, he cannot find capable people to match the PAP. That's the nub of it all.
So you think that a Singapore with a dominant party
clean
ruling
sweep?
without a good opposition to check?
So would you say the
give
opposition
a
at
check
this
and
moment
balance
is unnecessary then?
Oh, I do not say, I've not said that, and I've never said that. What I'm saying is, the opposition that we have is not up to mark.
I think my concern, personally, is
Yeah.
that you have said yourself, we cannot guarantee that PAP government 20 years down the road would be clean and as good as it is today.
Yeah.
So we have created a system such that the playing field is so skewed that it's impossible for us to have a good check. You know, what if the PAP misgoverns? How are we going to counter that?
Let me put this quite simply this way. With that present mood, if you reflect the mood on the ground, there must be at least 30, 40%, maybe 45%, right? Who want a strong opposition to check the PAP. Suppose you had capable people with a track record, people who have done 10, 15 years as business leaders, doctors, lawyers, dentists, engineers, whatever, computer programmers, they get together. You think they cannot win? It's a different proposition, isn't it?
Is the PAP insecure about losing?